Welcome to this month's episode of The Buzz. The holiday season is almost here, and it's important to remember to give as well as receive. So on today's episode, we're exploring two local volunteer organizations in Polk County. Stay tuned to find out how you can help people in need during the holiday season. Hello and welcome to The Buzz. I'm your host, Dion Spires, and our first special guest today is Donya Frazier. She's the Volunteer Community Relations Manager for Agape Food Bank in Lakeland. Welcome to the show, Donya.
Thanks, Dion.
How are you doing?
I'm doing well. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. Thank you so much for coming out here. We really appreciate you being here to talk about your end of the volunteer opportunities, that it's only one of a number of volunteer opportunities that people can find in Polk County. Yeah. So to start off, for people who maybe haven't heard about Agape Food Banks or they're not familiar with that Lakeland area, give me some background on Agape Food Bank. When was it founded? What is your mission? What do you guys do?
Agape Food Bank is actually a program through Catholic Charities, and we are actually a partner with Feeding America. And so what that means is that Feeding America actually provides us with different foods, as well as contracts with grocers like Publix, Winn-Dixie, Walmart, different grocers like that, and be able to provide us with that food to be able to give out to those food pantries that we're engaged with. Also, our mission is to lead in the fight against hunger in our community through innovative programming, hunger advocacy, and also education. We have a new nutritionist on our staff, and her name's Karen, and she goes out in the community and does demonstrations on nutrition and how affordable nutrition can help with people's budget as well.
So you mentioned that you guys are a food pantry, or you work with food pantries.
Right.
What is the difference between, or what is a food pantry, and what's the difference between that and a food bank?
I'm really glad you asked. We get a lot of those questions all the time. So we're the food bank, we're Agape Food Bank, and the food bank actually is the distributor of the food resources that we get from those grocers like we talked about earlier. Mm-hmm. And then the food pantry actually receives the food from us, the food bank, and distributes it to those people that are in need in our community.
So what types of organizations, or how do you find the people in need? What types of people are you working with in our community?
So we're working with those people that say, hey, we just need a push. So, you have those people that have the light bill, their rent, and different things like that. And they'll choose a place to have, to live instead of food. And so we're finding those people through those food pantries, or also just through our social media, Facebook pages, and different things like that.
Wow. Yeah. And that's crazy how powerful social media is now, because I never would have thought that that's a way that you would find someone who was in need of your support.
We also use 211, and that is a resource where people can go and call 211, give them their zip code, and they're able to provide them with our food pantries that we service, also other resources that they need throughout the community.
Now, you talked about, obviously, getting the food to those in need and the nutritionist aspect of what you guys offer. What are some of the other services that you guys offer through Agape?
So we also offer the Smile Pack program, and the Smile Pack program is in 21 public schools throughout Polk County that's serving up to 1,000 students. And those students are actually able to take home a backpack full of nutritious food. Wow. Every single weekend. And we also have volunteers that come in to help do a supplemental pack. Now, a supplemental pack has a protein, a vegetable, and some kind of starch, a healthy starch that'll be able to supplement the family's food that they already have in the pantry. And that goes out with them every other week usually. And then we have USDA commodities that the government actually purchases for us to be able to give out to those in need as well through those food pantries.
Wow. That's a great program for the kids there, because it gives them a really well-balanced some options for snacks, because a lot of kids will just grab the chips, grab the cookies.
That's right.
That's good that you guys are putting that out there for them.
Yeah.
Now, amongst all those programs that you have, what are some programs that if someone wants to volunteer and get involved and give back to someone this holiday season or any time, what are some programs that they can volunteer with?
So we also have a program called the Mobile Food Pantry Program, and that gets us out of the 4 walls of just the food bank and actually give as a food pantry would all throughout the Polk County area. So we're giving them about 50 pounds of food when they come through our mobile food pantry line, and that's happening every single week.
Wow.
We also have a part of our, we're doing a new food drive for the holidays because, you know, the grocers are still providing us with that food, but the resources get more when it's the holiday season. So we are looking for people to do food drives for us and different things like that to be able to help us, and also come out to the warehouse and volunteer and help sort those food items that we have that we're receiving from those food drives.
Now, if someone volunteers with your food drives or something like that, are they collecting food? Are they distributing? What are some of the opportunities that they have as a volunteer?
So they are actually collecting food for us to be able to distribute back out into the community for the holiday season.
Okay. And where do you guys kind of host these food drives? Are you guys out places collecting food? Do people bring it to you? How does your food drive work?
It's both. So we actually are partnering with Camping Row right now. They're actually doing a food drive for us to where people can come and bring up to 100 cans of food and receive $500 off a new or used camper. And so it's places like that, or Rooms to Go, or different organizations that we have out in the community that are partnering with us to do that. Some of them are bringing the food to us when their food drive's over, or some people we're going to pick it up from them.
Now, how long have you been working with Agape yourself?
I have been working with Agape around 3 months now.
Okay, so it's new to you thus far, but I understand that you have a background in kind of working with people who are in need, or working with giving back to the community. So how has working in that type of a field enriched your life?
It has enriched my life, definitely, especially with Agape, because I was born and raised here in Polk County, and I moved away to go to school at University of Florida. But when I was awarded the opportunity to come back and work at Agape, it has blessed me because I'm able to serve those people that I am pretty much grown to love here in Polk County. So I'm really excited to be back here in Polk County and to serve them, those people that are in need.
Now, seeing that you work in a field where you are regularly helping people in need, I would imagine that that's something that's kind of in your heart that you really are passionate about. Did you do a lot of volunteering or anything like that throughout school and that sort of thing?
I did. I actually was in the leadership class at Lakeland High School, and at Lakeland High School we would go down to Visti, I believe like every week or every other week, and Visti just so happens to be a partner with us here at Agape, and I didn't know it at the time, but as I learned more about Agape and all of our different partners, it just is like a full circle of me, you know, being here in Polk County and again serving my community from when I was in high school until now as an adult.
Now, seeing that you have had this extensive experience in volunteering, and it's something that you took the initiative to do,
Right.
What would you say to someone who either hasn't volunteered in the past or hasn't thought about it or is on the fence about it, to kind of encourage them to volunteer either with Agape or just anywhere else this holiday season?
I would say you only live once, and that it will touch your heart so much that you'll want to continue volunteering, not just during the holiday season, but throughout the whole year, whenever you have free time. I know people work and, you know, enjoy their life as well, but this part is very, very enjoyable as a volunteer. You gain so much, you experience so much, and so many people touch your heart. And just the thank yous, or the children saying thank you for my backpack, or anything, I really appreciate it. You know, that really, really touches your heart and really makes you feel like you're doing something great in the lives of others.
Yeah, it can definitely enrich your life and the lives of others,
Yeah.
I'm sure. So if someone wants to get involved with Agape Food Bank, how can they sign up to volunteer? How can they get in touch with y'all?
Okay. It's 2 ways that they can do that. So if you're an individual, you can go to cflcc.org/volunteer and make a volunteer profile. On that volunteer profile, I'll receive it and I'll be able to get you started. But as a group, you just contact me, and you can contact me through email or by phone. My email is Frazier, and that's DFrazier@cflcc.org, or you can contact me by phone at 863-665-7074. Thank you.
And if anyone does reach out to volunteer, are they placed somewhere, or do they have some sort of say in what type of activities they'll be doing, or how does that work?
They actually do have some kind of say in what they'll be doing. I talk to them about the different opportunities that we have at the food bank, or like I said, with the Smile Pack program, we're always looking for different groups to actually volunteer at the school board to be able to help those teachers or librarians that are packing those Smile Pack backpacks, to be able to help those teachers, or coming back to the food pantries, helping those food pantries, or to the warehouse, filling those supplementals to be able to take to those schools that are receiving the Smile Pack program. So.
Great. Well, thank you so much for being here, Donya. I hope that you guys have a lot of volunteers coming out this holiday season and continuing throughout the year, like you said, because it's always important to go out and volunteer and help others.
It is. Thank you so much, Dion.
It's time to take a break, but stay tuned to find out information about another great volunteer organization in Polk County.
Meals on Wheels has been serving the Polk County area since 1972. Our mission is simple: to deliver a hot, nutritious meal and a daily contact to the homebound of Polk County. Many of the Meals on Wheels recipients have health issues that hinder them from preparing meals for themselves. Aside from delivering meals, the single most important gift we can give is independence.
I had a stroke a few years back, so I'm on disability, and I have trouble getting around in the kitchen on my own, and Meals on Wheels makes it easy for me.
I was a working mother, and I was not able to do the cooking, taking care of him, nutritional, and we found out about Meals on Wheels, and that's the reason we decided to see if they can help us, and they have.
When I heard about Meals on Wheels in my first delivery, I knew that I was going to be happy because I didn't have to plan it. I didn't have to think about it. All I needed to do was just be ready to receive it.
I have a difficulty walking at times and getting around, and so I asked that I have the Meals on Wheels because it's a lifesaver.
Meals are prepared daily in our commercial-grade kitchen with fresh, healthy ingredients, promoting a well-balanced diet.
One of the positive things is the nutritional values in the meals, which Michael needs it very much, you know, for him to be healthy, stay healthy.
They know they're getting a healthy meal. I think it makes them feel good that they're not just getting a hamburger.
You get your vegetables, you get your carbs, you get your protein, and get your dessert. And I just love it because it is a balanced meal.
They take pride in the food for one thing, and I really like that. And we have a variety of food, and I like everything about it. It's not any one particular thing.
Our volunteers bring a smile and a hot meal to our homebound neighbors, but more than that, they build lasting relationships with the people that they serve.
The people who volunteer to make the deliveries are always so pleasant. They're always so kind and act like they really enjoy doing what they're doing, and we really, the recipients, I'm sure, do appreciate that.
You're probably the only person they're going to see that particular day, and most of them look forward to you coming.
I love the volunteers that they have. They're just so special, the people are.
To meet the people that are the recipients, and to talk with them and kid with them, and you know, just be normal folks with them, and it does them a lot of good, and it does me a lot of good.
All of the volunteers are wonderful, and they always ask me, is there anything I can do for you? And I always say no, but
They're such a friendly people, and there should be more like them. You know, so positive for me to think there's people out there that really can help. And I feel like the volunteers do a great job They use their money for the guests, and they use their time, and they do so much for Meals on Wheels. That to me is the most positive thing of human beings.
250 volunteers are needed every week to meet the needs of all of our recipients and ensure that they receive their meals. Our volunteers check in daily on our recipients. This brings great comfort to the many we serve and their families.
This is one of the highlights of volunteering, is knowing that you're going out here and helping people that can't get out, or that they just don't want to cook for themselves. We'd like to have more people volunteer, and that it's one of the rewarding things is to get out and see the people and know that you're really doing something to help.
The people that I have that I've had so long seem like they really look forward to me coming. And I get a sweet smile and a thank you every time. And that's just enough to warm my heart, to make me feel good about what I'm doing.
For what you put into it, the rewards are for the driver are fantastic. The people that you meet, not only the people here at Meals on Wheels, but your recipients, they make your heart soar.
Try it, you'll like it, and you'll be surprised how good you'll feel about it.
Volunteering at Meals on Wheels is an easy way to care for your neighbor and make a significant difference in their life. There are several areas in which you can get involved. Help us help them by volunteering in the following areas. Become a meal delivery driver, serve as kitchen prep staff, work in our thrift store, or help with our fundraising. We are thankful for our generous community. Please consider opening your heart to strengthen our efforts through donations. We accept the following types of donations: thrift store donations, food donations, and financial donations.
I just cannot thank enough the Meals on Wheels organization.
Words cannot express my appreciation for what they do. They're a godsend to me.
It's just a blessing. And I'm very thankful for it.
I would be hard-pressed without you guys.
Meals on Wheels. Volunteer today and make a difference in the lives of others for tomorrow.
This is one of the best things that ever happened to me. It really is.
We're back with our second special guest in the studio here. This is Susan Eldridge. She's the Executive Director of Meals on Wheels in Polk County. Thanks for joining us today, Susan. How are you doing?
Thank you. I'm doing good.
Good. Thank you for coming out to the studio. You're here to talk about Meals on Wheels, which is the organization that you've been with for some years, I understand. Give me some background on what is Meals on Wheels and when was that founded?
Meals on Wheels started in 1972, and it was a group of people at First Christian Church in Winter Haven there. They established Meals on Wheels, and it was because they saw a need. People needed meals. The homebound needed meals. So 44 years we've been delivering meals.
So what is the mission at the core of Meals on Wheels? What is your mission?
Well, our volunteers and our staff at Meals on Wheels work with or coordinate with our community, which is businesses, organizations, churches, individuals, and they help us do our mission, which is to deliver a hot, nutritious meal and a daily contact to the homebound.
So when you say homebound, for those who are watching and maybe just to give them a full understanding, what does homebound encompass as far as those people who are in need?
Most of our people that are homebound are in their home. They don't get out very much at all. Mm-hmm. Some of them can get out, a little bit, but most of them are bound to their home is kind of what the term is. Some of them, they can't shop for groceries. They can't stand up to cook, or their family doesn't want them using the electric, or afraid the safety. Okay. So this helps them to stay in their homes, independent.
So can you talk about, obviously delivering meals, just the services that you guys do provide to the Polk County residents? Is there anything outside of that, delivering meals?
Well, that is our service, is we fix those meals fresh every day and they're delivered. And the daily check, we're finding out that's as important as the meal is. But.
Now, how do you find the Polk County residents who are homebound, who do need your help, that need those meals?
Well, Meals on Wheels is such a well-known name that most of the time they call us, the recipient or a family member or friend that's concerned, and we can take the information right over the phone and have those people receiving meals in 2 days.
Oh, wow.
So
there's a fast turnaround there.
Yeah,
Make
it
sure they
is.
get what they need.
Right.
That's great. Now, I imagine that this this cause has a lot of impact on those who really need it, and to see that impact must be rewarding for you guys. Can you tell kind of an experience, is there any that really stood out to you of someone who was really affected by this, that really kind of made it enriching for you to see this is the difference we're making?
Well, we did a video a couple of years ago, and we deliver meals to them, but to hear these people really tell what it meant to them. We serve mostly elderly, but we did have one young man that had been on, he's been on for 20 years, and in his 20s had an accident which made him paralyzed. And so he couldn't talk very well, but he told me as I came in, he said, lean over, and he said, you give my mom peace of mind. His mom all these years had to work, and so bringing that meal to him, you could just tell it made a world of difference, and then to hear her talk as well. But that's just one instance.
Yeah, that's amazing. And that's kind of what I was wondering about when I asked you about the homebound. Was it primarily elderly? Was it people who had accidents or had disabilities or that sort of thing? So that's amazing to hear that you guys made a difference in someone who was that young. You don't necessarily think of that when you think homebound.
Right, right.
And I know that I'm 23, and my mom, if something like that happened to me, that would be a constant weight on her mind. So to have someone like you guys must be a huge, amazing help for her.
Yeah.
So what are some of the volunteer opportunities? I'm sure that you guys are always looking for volunteers, as nonprofits and that sort of thing do. So what are some of the volunteer opportunities that people can get involved with you guys?
Well, our most needed is the meal delivery driver. They usually arrive around 9:30 to 10:30, depending on which location they're picking up the meals. In the morning, of course, and then it takes about an hour to 2 hours to deliver the meal, depending on the route. Some are shorter, some are longer. That, of course, is our most needed. Now, we have all ages. The recipients love to see all ages, even the young people. We do require that they be 17 to drive and deliver the meals, but they can go along with that person. We did, when you mentioned youth, we had a group called Extreme Kids, and they've been working with us for 2 summers now during their summer break. They have delivered 2 routes a week. The adults that go with them divide them into 2 groups, and they've just been a blessing, and I'm sure they have to the recipients too. Yeah. We also have kitchen where they help to package the meals. Those people come in about 6:30 in the morning. Wow. Those are the early risers. The thrift store is our year-round fundraiser, so we use volunteers back there that help us, bag the merchandise and straighten the floor, put out things, that type of thing. We do have young people that they do thrift store drives or donation drives where they go out in the community and collect donations that will be resold and then bring them to us, so that's a great help. Anytime kids can do cards, crafts, that type of thing, the recipients love to receive that.
Oh, of course.
And then fundraising. If anybody likes to fundraise, we can always use that.
Yeah. So with fundraising volunteer opportunities, is it just if someone has an idea of how they can raise funds for you guys, they present that to you, or how does that work?
That would be awesome if they would do that. Some people will do that. We do have a large fundraiser every year they can help with there, but any type of raising funds, we're not government funded, so we're always looking to raise funds.
Absolutely. So with the Thanksgiving holiday coming up, we're really kind of enforcing just to give back as well as receive, with the holidays coming up. Are there any particular volunteer opportunities that are coming up for the holiday season with Meals on Wheels?
Well, we always need substitutes during that time. Our regular drivers go out of town, some to visit family, so always substitutes are needed. We have Thanksgiving Day is done by Higher Impact Ministries, so they can always use volunteers to help as well. That information, if anyone wants, it can call our office. Okay. We do an adopt-a-meal on Christmas Day. This year it's going to be the day after Christmas. It will be the day that Meals on Wheels will be closed. Home Instead Senior Care puts out the trees during the holiday in the stores that have the Christmas wishes of our recipients on them, so you can purchase a gift for them and make them smile. They love it.
Yeah, of course. Now you mentioned, was it Adopt a Meal? Is that what you called it? What is that service?
Well, on Christmas Day is the only day during the year that we do this, or like I said, this year it'll be the day after, but the volunteer would prepare a meal and deliver it to the recipient. So we would give you instructions and all that type of thing.
That's really nice to make sure that they're still taken care of, even though you guys are.
Yes, I was surprised how many didn't have family. Last year I think we delivered to about 100 out of,
Oh my gosh, I'm sure that makes a world of difference on their holiday too, for sure.
Yeah.
So being that you've been with Meals on Wheels, you told me before we started rolling, 11 years.
Right.
That's a long time with the organization. How has being involved with an organization like this enriched your life?
Well, it is a rewarding job. I mean, I know daily that I'm a part of helping those people receive the meals. I also know it gives their families peace of mind and the recipient. When you talk to our volunteers, I was surprised the first time that I'm always trying to get the recipients taken care of, but the volunteers will say the blessing is ours. So it enriches my life, strengthens my life. It can also do that for anybody that, that volunteers and strengthens our community. So it's just a rewarding job. And we all have to have jobs for the most part, but when you know you're helping someone, that's really special.
Absolutely. Now you told me also before we started rolling that you kind of have a background where you worked with schools and that's how you learned about volunteering and that sort of thing. And I could tell that there's a passion for volunteering, and that's definitely super important when you're working with an organization like this. You know that this is a show that's geared toward college students primarily. So speaking to a college student, can you talk from your perspective on the importance of why is it important for them to get involved with organizations like this and other volunteer opportunities in Polk County?
Well, I think the younger that you can introduce giving back to a person, it stays with them. Our vice president that's on our board right now started as a child delivering meals with her family, and then she just came all the way up through it, and now in adulthood is serving. So I think when you serve younger, it just stays with you to be able, to help people throughout your life. And the recipients love to see young people. It lights up their face. So.
Absolutely. Now, obviously, there are a ton of volunteer opportunities in Polk County, like I said, but Meals on Wheels specifically, what would you say to someone to convince them to come out and volunteer with your organization this holiday season or in general?
Well, I think if they will try it one time, like go with one of our drivers, they don't have to commit at that point, but just go, because the first time I went to deliver the meals, like I was telling you, that's when you really see what this program does for our recipients. I mean, some of them will tell you it's a lifesaver. So that, I would say, just try it one time, even if you don't do it again, but you'll like it. One of our volunteers says it makes his heart sore.
Oh.
He's 90.
Oh.
So, yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So before we wrap it up, give the viewers a little rundown of how they can get involved and how they can contact you guys if they want to get involved.
Well, our phone number is 863-299-1616. You can call our office. That's Monday through Friday, 8 to 2, are those hours. We've got a website, which is mealsonwheelspolk.com. You can even sign up to be a volunteer on there. Volunteers are our best recruiters, so if you ask anybody, they'll tell you their experiences, and that will make you want to.
Definitely. Well, thank you so much for being here again, and I wish you guys the best of luck through the holiday season and on after that.
All right, thank you.
That's all the time that we have for today. Volunteering with any organization is a great help to the community, so if you would like to learn more about opportunities in the area, please visit the Volunteer Polk page on volunteermatch.org. You can catch this episode on Mondays and Wednesdays at 1 and 7 p.m. or find us on YouTube on the Polk Government Channel. Thanks for joining me for another episode of The Buzz, and I'll see you next time.